you all very much. Kind of might be a sign from God. The sun came out just before I got up here. I don't know. Rhino Hunt, I'll just take a second. Rhino Hunt, we're committed to hunting down rhinos, all right? Republicans in name only. You see, the people that occupy this building here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the overwhelming majority of them claim to be Republicans. And Republicans claim to support things like the Second Amendment, freedom, smaller government, lower taxes, more personal responsibility. Well, we've got a majority of Republicans in this House. And our governor is a Republican. All of our constitutional officers are Republican, as a matter of fact. This begs the question, how do we end up where we're at today when we've had a Republican-controlled state for so long? Well, I make that case that many of these people that claim to be Republicans are not Republicans. They are Democrats hiding in the Republican blanket. All right, scallywags. How many of you today brought a copy of the United States Constitution with you? If you did, raise your hand. You know, many of these people in this building don't understand that document. I know I see a lot of signs, so if you brought a sign like Talbert did, I'd like to see you hold your signs up real quick. Fantastic. If you brought a flag today, wave your flag for a second. All right. Now, I see all sorts of flags. I see the Don't Tread on Me American flag, South Carolina sovereignty flags. I see Dixie in the back. Go Dixie! Take a moment, if you will. Look with me up to the top of this state capitol. What do we see up there? That's the American flag and the South Carolina flag, right? Nowhere on this property do I see the white flag of surrender. Then why are the people in this building right here surrendering our rights? One of my employees asked me yesterday, knowing that I was going to be here today, said, "Harry, I think what you're doing is the right thing." He goes, "But I'm confused." He said, "Why are you so angry at the people down in Columbia at the State House when the people in Washington are the ones doing all the bad stuff?" Oh my God, I was glad to have that teaching opportunity. About 45 minutes later, he understood that when the several states came together to create the United States, that those several states came together with a small list of things, enumerated the authorities that they were vesting in the federal form of government. And then they were very careful to make it clear that nothing out of this enumerated power do you have authority over. And they said the 9th and 10th Amendments kind of reaffirmed that. Now, earlier this week, which by the way, Lee Bright, are you still here? Lee, could you help me get Social Security numbers for our state legislators? Because I want to put them down on my tax return as dependents. I haven't done my taxes yet. And I feel like I have to come down here and take care of these children so frequently. And I'm already paying large amounts of money to fund their education down at USC to get a law degree on our tax dollars. I already fund so much of their personal lives that I think we should get to claim them as tax dependents. All right. Earlier this week, I came down here to testify before a House subcommittee on the nullification of Obamacare. If you were at that subcommittee meeting, raise your hand just real quick. I know there's some. Thank you for those that are. But let me tell you exactly what happened in that subcommittee meeting. Y'all familiar with the word contempt, as in contempt of court? Well, the lawmakers that were in that subcommittee to hear testimony had complete, utter, total contempt for the people like you that came to testify before that committee. They have contempt for us. These so-called conservative Republicans, they have contempt for you. They called in a ringer, a law professor from USC. He got a lot of respect. They were infatuated with his testimony because his testimony basically summarized is this, that if the federal government says it, it is the law of the land, and South Carolina has no ability to resist it. They took the supremacy clause in that subcommittee hearing, and they used the supremacy clause to say that it is the law of the land and we must obey it. Well, there's several things that they forgot in that subcommittee hearing, which is made up almost entirely of a bunch of attorneys. Some of the things they forgot was the Declaration of Independence says that the power originates from the people. Then when you actually get to Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution, it actually states that laws that are created no, I should have wrote this down. To keep the Constitution are the laws of the land. Not every law, but the law that is it's inactive with the Constitution. Let's talk about the law for a second. Just because government says that something is legal doesn't mean that it's right. I believe history tells us that in the 1940s, a man by the name of Adolf Hitler made it legal to kill large portions of the population in Germany out of religious intolerance. It was legal to commit murder. Well, let me tell you, that's not too far away from us, because in the 1970s, they made it legal in the United States to commit murder as long as the murder is of an innocent child that has not yet had the opportunity to be born. Murder in the United States has already been made legal. It was done years ago. Where were the people in this building to protect life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness during that? Where have they been ever since? Almost every one of these politicians will get up here today and tell you, I'm pro-life, because they know that's what you want to hear. Which one of them has sponsored legislation to nullify the Supreme Court decision on abortion? Murder. Let me get into really what I want to carry out here. This is a Second Amendment rally, but all of these amendments, as the speakers before, they're connected. You can't dissolve one without affecting the others. Why would a South Carolina state legislator want to side with a false interpretation of the Supremacy Clause of the United States that disallows him or her to protect the people in South Carolina? I'll tell you why. It's called corruption. It is called corruption. That old saying about follow the money. Well, just in the research that we did on the nullification of Obamacare, and this is just one example, we found out that hospital associations, medical associations, other associations